Okay, well, time is passing here. I'm working on that pre-unit Triumph, getting ready to do a start on it, or a start attempt at least. Mike dropped off a pair of BSA forks for me the other day, and they were off the 1967 BSA Lightning. So I'm going to take these apart and see what's required to do a proper rebuild on these. Okay, well, as you can see, I've already got started, and there's not an awful lot of stuff for this particular type of fork. This is what I call the middle ear forks for the unit bikes. The earlier ones did not have this damper assembly inside. All they had down the bottom was a pointed finger, which the taper was used for compression, and that's similar to what you see with this, but it doesn't have the damper assembly here on those ones there. What it used was where the two bushings come together. The oil that got caught between the two bushings was used for a rebound damper. So anyway, let me start taking this other one apart. So you can see they're a little bit different than your average set of forks. And frankly, I don't know if these things are all together right. That's the thing when you're working on older bikes. You don't know if somebody's put older parts mixed in with newer parts. So anyway, let's get this cap nut off of here. There's the cap nut for this one. As you can see, it's just a big hollow thing. That's the cap nut for the older type forks. The newer type forks, a different cap nut on it. That, I believe, screws on to the end of the damper rod. So that's what I'm going to start with. Now let's get this spring out of there. That's pretty straightforward. Springs. All right. Well, there is a special tool. I'm going to actually make one up while I've got this bike here. I've got a nice piece of electrical conduit that's exactly the right size to fit down inside of here. All it is there will be two little tabs that I'll cut on the bottom that connect in with the seal holder. That's this foam thing right here. So to get that off, this is what I've been using for years and years and years and years and years to get these forks apart. It's just a strap wrench with a piece of rubber inner tube there just to give me a little more grip. Turn that around the right way there. And yeah, I've never had a problem getting any of these apart. Too bad they didn't make them like Triumph did with the two little holes in them, that you had a special tool that was really gripped there. But every one of these that I've ever seen, there's the evidence right there. That's the jaws from a bike wrench. And every set of these I've ever seen has had pipe wrench marks on them. Now that screws like this. This is your seal holder. Your seal is actually up in here. Show you the other one. There you can see the seal right up in there. So, get this off. You can pull them off this way, but the trouble is there are steps in these fork tubes out here that do not allow for easy movement of that seal, and if you're putting a new seal in, you don't want to push it down over those larger circumferences, especially this section right here. Let's pull that up a bit. I know you can't see that on the camera, but the machining here for this 4 inches right here is very rough. It's not a good thing to put on the seal. I mean, I've seen it done before where people grease these up really well and then slid the seal holders down over the top, but it's still not the best way to do it. The correct way to do it is to take the bottom leg off first. step away from the camera a second to see if you can see what I'm doing there. Yeah, you should be able to. So this is nice and loose. There's a little sort of a cone-shaped washer there. To get this off of there, all we got to do is pull it out like that. And then get this up to the end. There's rubber washer up there that keeps that from coming out. I'm just going to let that drop down so I don't get that tamper rod at all. I'm going to take this 12-inch crescent. Yeah, it's a crescent wrench, I know, from Buster. Not that raw, but just that one's very tight at all. Okay, we'll just take the nut off the bottom of the forks. This here. Yeah, you can pull that rubber out of there if you pull on that lower fork leg a bit. I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to do a little bit civilized here anyway. Right there. Screw out of here. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get when they're all slimy and oily like that. Or a piece of paper towel handy. There's that with the washer. Drop that down there. There. Bushings. Off pretty well. This bushing here. That up here, right. Yeah, this one feels a little like the other one. There's a bit of wear there. I could get away with using it again, but my proper job would be to replace that bushing. I've already checked these bottom bushings for fit, and they do seem to be still usable. But hey, if you're going to do something, you might, if you're replacing one, you might as well replace it all. Right? So, and this will come right out. See there's that rubber washer that goes up there. That's what would not pass out past this. So I'm going to take the bushing off. And across the other one. Take the nut off. After I get this nut off. Either that or I'll force it up over that rubber anyway. There's the top bushing right there. There's the little phone that holds everything in place. On this one, there's no snap rings up in the fork blade here. On the older ones, there'd be a snap ring. But the older ring ones, frankly, I'm a great believer. See how easy that came off from this end? No problem at all. So, not that in there. Yeah, the older ones, like I said, I'm a great believer in the KISS principle. Much like Harley Davidson, if something works, don't fix it. But anyway, they figured they could improve the damping of the forks by putting this fork damper in. It's quite similar to what you would find in an North Commando on the roller forks. But in any case, I'm just going to stand that up there for now. Next to its sister there. Now, got a device. Looks straight, looks to be deceiving. That is why I have put this fork tube in the lathe. Now if I turn that on, you're going to see that that is pretty darn true. They don't come any better than that when they're brand new. So that fork leg is alright as far as being straight goes, but I wanted to see if I could focus in on this part. Now let's see, this area from here to here is where the seal rides, right along here, and as you can see, that's very pitted and ugly looking. You know, the pitting probably wouldn't hurt the seals, but it would certainly let a little bit of oil pass. There's no amount of sanding that would take that out, and if you did that, then you If you took it enough off to actually get all those pits out, why then you'd be so loose on your bushings that it wouldn't be worth the trouble. So I'm going to talk to Mike about this. I think it would be a good idea to just check and see if we should get a new set of fork tubes for this as well. So anyway, meanwhile, I'm going to stick the other one into the lathe here. I'll just put this on pause for a minute while I do that, and then we'll be able to do this all in one clip. Okay, that's the second fork tube in the lathe. Let's just turn that on and see how straight that is. That's really good too. So we know we got two straight forks at least. Well, let's have a look at this area here again, where the seal rides along here. This isn't very pretty looking. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Mike, see if he wants to change those fork tubes or just use these old ones. I think best decision, I'm going to recommend that he change them. Meanwhile, let's go back over here again and discuss what's going on here. Like I said, these are caps for the earlier type forks that didn't have damper units in them. They didn't have this this rod coming up through a damper unit. On those older ones, you don't have to take these apart when you're cleaning them or anything, because that finger in the bottom, it doesn't actually move or have any moving parts. It's just a tapered finger. And I want to show you what I have here in this bag. That is a brand new replacement cap for the top of these particular forks. Now I'm going to put you on pause again while I do this. Okay, there. Took a little bit of fiddling to get that out of the bag, but there's the new one. These are aluminum, so you have to be careful with them when you're screwing them in and out. You don't want to damage the threads. But as you can see, there's a threaded portion right here that will screw onto the top of the damper rod. So, in any case, this, again, I turn this over. This is the ones that were in the forks when I received them. Like I said, they are not the correct caps for these forks, but these ones are. So I can proceed with these. But I think I'm gonna order some new bushings, and I'll talk to Mike about new fork tubes, because we really should replace those as well. In the meantime, we gotta wait. Okay, well, I got a hold of Mike, and we're talking about what he wanted to do regarding the bushings and the pitted up fork tubes, and he agreed that since the bushings are really worn out, it really wouldn't be much point in putting them together. These are worn out to the point that they would push on the seals and reduce the ability of the seals to actually work. So anyway, I've ordered a new set of them. I tried British Cycle Supply first. They're right here in Nova Scotia. They do also have a warehouse in New Jersey, so that's good if anyone lives in the States and wants to order from them. But anyway, I wasn't a bit surprised to find out they didn't have any in stock. And frankly, I'm starting to wonder about that business, because the last couple of years, I mean, every time I call up, it's like I get maybe half of the stuff that I want from them, and then I have to go on the internet looking for it. Anyway, they can't sell what they don't have. But it makes me wonder if they're sliding downhill, maybe going out of business. I mean, for a long while, they were the largest mail-order British motorcycle parts supplier in North America, but I think they're going downhill. Anyway, leave that aside. I looked for Burton's, and Burton's is one of my other people that I deal with in England. They're great. The shipping takes about a week to get from England over here to Nova Scotia, so that's pretty fast. but they didn't have any in stock. So I tried Dragonfly. Dragonfly had them in stock, but the website is so frigged up that I couldn't pay for my damn order. So I let that go, and I ordered from CBS. I've ordered from them before on eBay, through eBay, but anyway, I ordered directly from CBS. They're in California. So the trouble with that is it's going to take about 3 weeks for these to show up in my mailbox from California. So anyway, it's a matter of hurry up and wait. So while I hurry up and wait, I might as well mention too, I was also talking to Mike about the fork tubes. The tubes are straight, as I mentioned before when I had them up in the lathe there, but they're pitted in this area where the seal rides. So anyway, I chatted with Mike about that. He agreed, yes, go ahead and change the bushings, but he wants to just live with the forks as they are. I don't think they'll hurt the seals, because pits in steel are not the same as pits in chrome steel. Pits in chrome steel have sharp edges on them, and they will cut a friggin' seal. But pits in regular steel like this, all they are is little spots that hold oil, and it kind of helps lubricate things. So as long as it's not too ridiculously pitted, I'm going to use those, reuse them again. I'll just put them in the lathe and run a bit of emery cloth or sandpaper up and down that area there to make sure that they're as smooth as they can be. Meanwhile, I got other stuff to do to get ready to put these together. One of the things is to get this junk off of the bottom of these threads, so that when I offer up the seal holders to the forks, that I can get a proper seal down here. Now, I'm not going to make you watch while I scrape all that off, but luckily, through the magic of television, I already have one done. See? So you can see how that groove at the bottom is nicely cleaned out. They tell you to put a piece of cord in that. That's caveman stuff. I'm going to be using Teflon in there, so anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That'll be on reassembly. And I'm not going to take the damper units out. Everything is in there that's supposed to be in this little circlips, or clip is in there that holds the top bushing, and you know, they're mounted in there. Sometimes you're better off leaving well enough alone. If you ever did want to take these out, there's a screw down on the bottom there with an Allen head in it, and you just snap that screw out of there, and these will come right out. But like I say, they're doing what they're supposed to do, so I'm not going to do anything else to those. And now it's hurry up and wait, and like I say, I'll clean this little spot out here, and then I'll just put them away and wait till the bushings come. Okay, as you can see, I'm just in this area of white sanding here. I think that'll do the trick. It's not going to be perfect, but I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see all kinds of little pitting in there, but honestly, you know, it's not perfect, but steel forks, plain steel forks, I should say, never are. So I think that'll work pretty good. I don't think he'll have any trouble using those. And like I said, they are straight, so that's a good thing. I'll get the other one up in here and clean that up and show you what I get with that one. Okay, before I get that up in the lathe, I want to show you the before and the after. So there is a considerable improvement in this one here. So I'm going to get that other one here up in the lathe, and we'll do that. If you don't have a lathe, you could probably get away with just cleaning these things up with something like strip emery or something like that, and just wrap the strip around them and carefully pull it back and forth. So anyway, get my little piece of well-used sandpaper up here. I need both hands, so I'm going to set the phone down. I'll show you what I got when I'm finished with this one. Okay, that looks pretty clean. Shut her off and see what we've got here. Yeah, like I say, you can still see the pitting down here, but most of that's actually where the bushing rides. Like this section right here is where the seal would rub in. So, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. It'll work for this bike. Okay, I got around to making a little tool here. Get that out. Well, there goes the seal holder. Anyway, this is my seal holder tool. I had one of these made up before. It's just a piece of, this section here is a piece of electrical conduit, and I've pressed in a little thicker ring in there just to give it a little more strength in the top and the bottom. And then this piece here with the flats on it that I can get a wrench on, that, if you don't know what that is the timing side bush from the BSA engine. So yeah, crankshaft bushing, yeah. So anyway, there's my homemade seal holder tightener-uppener. So anyway, I'll put that in with the special tools. Actually, I think I'll put that in with the Atlantic Vintage toolkit there, and then anybody that wants to borrow it will be able to. And I'm going to use it when I reassemble those forks, but I'll just probably stick with the good old tried and true method. But that'll be here for anybody that wants it anyway.